Welcome back, high school campers. This is Armaan's Chalk Talk video, so hopping right into it. This will be broken into 4 quarters since we are in sports and entertainment. First quarter is going to be our preseason, which will be just a brief introduction. Second quarter, your training days, which will be your high school path as well as your college career, what that looked like. Third quarter is going to be the regular season and your current role with the Kansas City Chiefs, and then playoffs. Got to end off with another Super Bowl. You're obviously a champion already, so got to end off with some career advice for the high school campers. So going right into it, we'll start off with your name, where you're from, and where you work, and your official title with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Armaan Ahluwalia. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I work for the Kansas City Chiefs, and my title is the Manager of Business Analytics.
Absolutely. What is one aspect of sports do you appreciate working in sports the most?
Yeah, that one is, working towards one common goal with a group of people that you go to work with every day, and they become part of your team. And I really love the team aspect of that, working towards that one goal, which is a championship.
Absolutely. And going back to how teamwork is really important, especially for team sports. When you were younger in your early high school career, what did you initially want to do as a career?
Yeah, so I thought I wanted to do medicine or go into pharmacy. And that was kind of in grade 10 and grade 11, or my sophomore and junior year for those Americans. That's what I thought I wanted to do, but that did not become the case.
Absolutely. So what was your first experience, and when did you first acknowledge that you could go into sports and entertainment as a career? And then who or what was your first experience that gave you your first break into that sports world?
Yeah, so I thought about that when I was in college. I happened to be writing a personal blog at the time where blogging was all the rage, and a friend of mine suggested that I should write for the university paper. So I wrote for the university paper, or I went down there and asked, hey, can I write? And they're like, great, go cover men's soccer. And so I started covering men's soccer, and then from that, it led to working the camera on game days, to then color commentating and being the play-by-play. So it kind of just expanded from there.
How did you leverage those experiences and those opportunities into leading into your first job in your career?
Yeah, I think for that, it just kind of gave me a little taste of, one, you got to be there before everybody else. You have to stay after the event. So it kind of gave me a glimpse into, you don't just show up for the sporting event like a normal fan. You have to be there to work, and I kind of confirmed that was something I was passionate about, and I like putting in the hours. The sports industry can sometimes be long days and early mornings, and that was kind of a little taste of it, and I really liked it.
During that process, when you were figuring out, putting your head down and grinding and getting through that time in college and your early career, who was a person or influential person in your career, in your life, that really motivated you and showed you that there was actual business in sports and something that you could pursue as well?
That's an easy one. His name was Bill. He was kind of the manager of all the live streaming that was going on for the university sports. And from there, I kind of learned that there was opportunities through sponsorships and media, and just kind of building a personal brand for yourself. And so I kind of learned from him, and he was great in terms of kind of mentoring me to kind of understand how the industry kind of works, and that it's not just this one sport. There's multiple opportunities and multiple facets for you to kind of go out and explore and kind of spread your wings and kind of make your impact.
Absolutely. Fast forward into your current role with the Kansas City Chiefs. If a student were to shout at you for a day, what would they see you doing?
Yeah, so that would be hopefully a fun day for them, in the sense that there would be a lot of Excel documents, some brainstorming, and a variety of different meetings with different departments. So my role, it has a lot of different wide-spanning opportunities, and so every day is different. There's not one day that's the same, but usually it's thinking about data and thinking about numbers.
And going back to the point of thinking about data and numbers, how do those numbers affect the overall business structure? How do you guys analyze those numbers to officially make the business better for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, there's lots of different ways. So in my role specifically, we use the data to try to track potentially how a sponsor is performing. So we might do a survey, and then when we have those surveys, pre and post, we might run an analysis to understand how exactly it performed. Did people notice the brand? Do they feel better about the brand? Or There's, a bit of social media data where we want to try to understand how impactful the social media post that was sponsored performed, and how can we make it perform better, and how is that overall showing some sort of media value back to the sponsor in terms of what they're paying from a partnership.
I definitely seen the increase in data analytics, how it's used in sports as a whole today, even through watching ESPN. But going back to your current role with the Kansas City Chiefs, what are two aspects of your job do you feel are most satisfying?
Yeah, I think for me, it's the ability to see a problem and try to solve it, right? I think a lot of people come to me with a problem that doesn't have an answer, right? It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's, hey, go find how we're going to make this problem go away, or how are we going to solve this problem, because there's no answer and we need you to go figure it out. So that's always kind of one of the things that I really get excited about. And then also, there are new challenges, right? There's the ability to really stretch my brain and kind of think about abstract ways to solve problems, and there are always new problems on the horizon. So those would be the two things that I think are the most satisfying about my job.
Perfect. And what is that one skill that has helped you have success and sustainability within your sports industry career?
For sure. I think that it is the ability to think critically and add value, right? Whenever I'm asked to do a job or try to figure out a solution, I think the best thing that I've been able to do is, here's the answer, here's what I think, or here's what I would do given the information that I found. So it's not just you wanted the answer to the problem, 1 + 1 = 2. It's more of, hey, here's what I would do in this scenario given what I'm seeing in the data to try to make a positive impact. Or I don't think we should do this because I've seen this in the data.
So going into the fourth quarter, the final segment of our Talk, the playoffs, ended up with some career advice. What things can high school students do to promote their personal brand and build and add value to their careers and their respective industries when they go into them?
I would say that if I could go back and I could kind of give my wisdom to my younger self, I would say network. The ability to network and to get to know people, whether it's listening to videos like these, going to meet people, asking for time, will pay dividends in the long run, given that the sports industry is so very tight-knit and a small community. The more people you know, the more opportunities will start to arise. So if I could go back and network, I would totally do that as a high school student.
Perfect. And after attending the camp, what is the very next step a student should take to prepare to be in a position of your magnitude someday?
Yeah, for sure. I would say that, learning as much as you can about numbers and data, because I think that's where the next wave is going to be, where, data scientists are going to start to make a lot more decisions. Now, obviously that's not something you're going to learn in high school, but, take an interest in these types of different things and try to think critically, and that will serve you well in the future, as that's where the skills are starting to shift in my perspective.
Absolutely. And just ending it off, one key takeaway I've gotten through this interview is that everything is evolving, so you must evolve with it. Going forward, I definitely look forward into diving into more analytics and data-driven information and using that to better a business that I can potentially get into. So I want to thank you, Armaan, for joining us for our Talk Today. You've definitely been great. I definitely feel the high school students are going to learn a lot and definitely find value in this interview. Talkers, high school students, stay on the lookout for more content. Stay tuned. We'll have a lot more coming for you guys. Peace.